It was a very dark, rainy night. I remember that night. I remember it clearly. I remember it raining heavily as I sit on the bus stop waiting for the rain to clear out. I remember checking my wristwatch, and I remember it being 10:47 p.m. It was on October, near Halloween, and of course, it creeps me out, spooks me out. Halloween was never my thing. I felt a numbing feeling behind me, but I brushed it off. The last bus of the night stopped in front of me. I thought twice and boarded the bus. I paid for my ride, hoping I could save it, but it would take hours for me to be able to go home because of the heavy rain. I remember walking down the aisle looking at their blank faces. I remember the face of the bus driver. His eyes widened. I think it was about to pop out. I remember having continuous goosebumps for every time I see their faces staring at me. Finally, I sat next to an old man, very tall. I think he was around 6 foot. With his top hat, I couldn't see his face clearly since it's bowed down. I vividly remember his stench, his whole smell. I remember it being the smell of 1,000 corpses of dead retching animals, like crows. I remember the faces of the people on the bus looking at me, their eyes widening, their sweat dropping to the floor. They all shook their head and stopped staring as they faced forward. After that, the bus started and is on its way. I couldn't see the road on the windows because of the rain fogging up, and of course it's dark. All I could feel is the continuous goosebumps starting to feel awful. I started scratching my back. I could feel the ragged breath of the old man near my neck, as if it's smelling me like some prey. I brushed it off and looked at the window. Later on, I heard some clicking in my left ear. I wanted to look at it, but my instincts told me no, so I stopped. And a while later, I heard more clicking. I thought of it as the old man using his tongue to make a clicking noise to pass the time, so I closed my eyes and laid my head next to the window. I remember waking up to an ambulance siren driving next to the bus. I checked my watch and I felt dizzy, confused. The watch still says 10:47, as if time has stopped. The goosebumps stopped, but the old man is still clicking his tongue. I just thought that my watch is broken and continued to sleep. I remember its hot, rotting breath. I remember it creeping behind me. I was scared. I was scared no one is helping. I was scared what he might do to me. I was scared to open my eyes. I was scared. I am scared. To this day, I am still traumatized. I felt the need to stop it, so I opened my eyes. I could still remember their faces. The faces that were staring at me. It was all blank. No facial features, nothing. The bus has stopped, the windows were all dark, and the rain turned red. The old man sitting right next to me is gone, and I was scared. I was pissing my pants out of fear, and I felt it again. The darkness creeping around me, trying to swallow me. I felt the goosebumps engulfing me. A whole presence. I started crying. I yelled to stop, but no one is listening. I closed my eyes, but I heard the clicking sound again. I stopped. I opened my eyes. I saw it. The tall, lanky man. Its ruined top hat. Its sharp claws. I could hear his footsteps ringing in my ear. His face. I couldn't see it. But all I hear is the clicking. Next thing I knew, the people sitting weren't there. It was just me and it. It stopped. It chuckled, and there it was. It revealed to me his face. It was smiling. This is something that happened to me when I was in my previous house a while back. It all started one night when me and my family returned home from bowling, and my father said that he left the back door unlocked by mistake. But luckily it appeared as if no one broke in our house. How wrong we were. Every third night I'd hear this tapping noise in the floorboards under the carpet ever so slightly. I usually ignored it as I thought it was just a pipe from the boiler vibrating against the floorboard. When it came to me playing my video games, I'd find my controllers out of place or the game stacks shuffled up. I was kind of a geek that assigns his games from AZ. But I shook it off because it at least took me away from gaming. Sometimes I'd get these whispers of my name in a very low pitch, which I thought was my brother playing tricks on me. So I kept replying, "Go back to bed, you crap stain." One night, my father went into my room and said, "Don't tell me this tapping isn't keeping you awake." I replied back with a nod, and so we unscrewed the floorboards, and then we saw something you'd never, ever would want to see in your life. It was this homeless person with bloody bones of an unidentifiable dead animal, and he kept stared at my dad with a toothless grin and charged at him with a rusty knife. My dad disarmed the homeless man and knocked him out. In the meantime, I called the police and explained the situation. A police cruiser came in under 10 minutes and came and arrested the homeless man. A message came through the post saying that the arrested man was wanted for repeated home entries and the murder of an elderly woman. It said that he was jailed for life in a maximum secured prison. I am lucky to still be alive to tell this story.